Hi and welcome to the Tradebox One CSV integration video. The purpose of the video is to demonstrate how we're going to create a connection in Tradebox One that's going to read a CSV file, which can be particularly useful where we can't link to, say, for example, a website because there's no API integration there. First thing, before we get started, I'm just going to draw your attention to our website. So if you go to tradebox.uk.com and click on integrations, scroll down to CSV, and then videos and guides, you're going to find here a load of videos and a load of guides that are going to be really useful. And one of the first things that we need to do is to get your CSV file in the right format and structure so that we can import it. So there's a link here, CSV file structure and sample. If you click on that, it's going to open up the Tradebox help desk. There's a full article here, step by step, but right at the bottom of the article is a sample file. And that's going to be really useful, the sample file, because it contains the column headers that you can use, and Tradebox will recognize them. It'll just make the integration a little bit easier. And there's lots of collateral within here that's going to really help you get up and running. So before we get started, let's have a quick look at the sample file. Okay, I've got a sample file here. And this is just all full of dummy data that we've set up. So just to quickly walk you through it, we'll turn these column headers dark so we can see them. Okay, so you've got the order date, the order ID, the SKU, the product name, the currency, prices, quantities, carriage. And what you may notice here, for example, on this, we'll just choose the first order. We can see that we've got 5 items on that one order and they're repeated on separate lines. And you do get things like the discount repeat and the carriage repeat. So in this particular example, that carriage would only be £5 for the entire order, but does repeat on the lines. And this whole structure is explained within the guide that I've just shown you. And there's another video that will step by step through this. But the information in the file is pretty standard stuff. It's information on every item in the order, the price, the description, the SKUs, the order ID, and then we have information to do with the billing address. We also contain information with the shipping address, and then there's lots of other ancillary information that can be useful if it's available. And don't worry if you don't have all of this information available in your export. Not all of it is mandatory. A lot of it is just really useful, and we can use that and present that information. Okay, I'm going to close that. Okay, so let's jump on a Tradebox then. Okay, we're in the channel section and you can see that the channel section is completely blank, and this is where we're going to create an integration with our first channel. So click on new, we get a drop down list, and there's a number of pre-existing channels we connect with, like Amazon, Amazon FBA, BigCommerce, eBay, eCare, etc. We're going to choose a file import, which is a generic connection for a channel that doesn't have an API integration. Click on next. First thing it's going to ask me for is a name. It's simply a title, so I'm just going to call this web sales. It's then asking me the currency. So every channel inside Tradebox can only deal with a single currency. So if your file has a mixture of currencies, pounds, euros, dollars, you would need to create 3 separate integrations in Tradebox and specify the currency. The next thing it's asking us for is FPT details. So if you enter these and you get your CSV file published to an FTP, Tradebox can automatically connect to that FTP using the credentials here and download your file automatically, and you can get it to do that on like a constant basis. I don't have any FTP deals, so I'm just going to click on next. Next thing is we're asking information about the structure of the file. So how are the columns of data separated? What is the delimiter? And so you've got a choice between comma, tab, and semicolon. The date format, in this case, it is a day, month, year format, but there are lots of different formats that we can connect with. The shipping cost, is it duplicated across the lines or is it individual cost per line? Is the price a unit price or a line price? And is the other amount duplicated across the lines or an individual cost? Again, don't get too concerned about these. It's all explained in the file structure video and also the file structure article. Next thing that we can do is we can point Tradebox at an actual example file. So if I just click on the button here and we'll navigate to the desktop and that file that we just previously looked at, click on open, click on next. Okay, because I'm using the sample file, a lot of the column headers are recognized automatically. So we can see here that we've got the Tradebox field and then we've got the corresponding field in the file, and Tradebox is reading the column headers, and it's linking to these automatically because we've done an association. So using our template file is a very useful thing to do and probably make things a lot easier for you. Again, if you don't have the information in the file that we have, you could just delete some of those columns. So as we go down, we can see that every item that Tradebox requires is mapped to a corresponding field in the file. And you can simply just click on the drop down. Tradebox is reading the column headers in the file and you map it to the corresponding field. When that's done, we click on next. Okay, so one of the things Tradebox has asked for is there a sales source in the file? So if you're using like a multi-channel order management solution, one of the things that they may have in their export file is the origin of the sale. And it's asking which ones we want to download. So if you want to filter on different sales sources, you can do that in here. I'm going to choose to download all of those. Click on next. The next one is file statuses. So within your CSV file, every order potentially could have a status, and you can decide within this section of the wizard which statuses you wish to import. Again, I'm going to choose all of them. Click on next. It's asking about discount types, so you can have a total order discount or item line discount. I'm going to choose order, and then if we click on finish, that is the channel. It's now asking me if I want to create an accounts integration. I'm going to say no to that. We'll cover accounts integration in another video. So we've got the channel set up. You can see that active, download, and upload are all turned off, and that's the default state when we create a new channel in Tradebox, is that we don't activate it. If we double click into the channel, this is where all the configuration setting is kept, and these were the settings, a lot of which I've chosen during the wizard. One of the things that Tradebox requires for a CSV import is a local in and out folder. So by default, Tradebox has created one for me within the data folder. I don't want it to actually sit on my local PC. I want it to sit on the server. So if I pop onto my network, you can see on our server, we've created a folder called Web Sales, and within that, we've got an in folder, an out folder, and an upload folder. I'll just copy the name of the in folder back to Tradebox. Copy the out folder. Okay, so to import the file, what I would need to do is either manually download the CSV file and put it into this location, and then Tradebox would constantly interrogate that location, import any files that are within that location, discard any orders it's previously imported, and import any brand new orders. If you do have Tradebox configured to connect to an FTP, there's no need for you to download the file manually and put it into the local in folder. There are other settings, and again, this will be covered within the configuration video and the configuration article, which you can access via the Tradebox website. Just stepping through the sales channel details while we're here, we've got a VAT tab where we put some standard rules for VAT for UK sales, EU sales, and rest of world sales. If we'd imported any orders, we'd have a list within the orders tab. Same for sales. The statuses tab here tells me the marketplace status and what it's matched to in Tradebox. So for example, the marketplace of complete is matched to the Tradebox status of complete, and I've opted to download that. The marketplace status of processing, I'm going to mark to the Tradebox status of paid. And dispatched, I'm going to mark to dispatched. And so when Tradebox is importing your orders, it matches the marketplace status to a corresponding status in Tradebox, and that's the status you're going to see. There is an accounts tab here. The accounts tab allows you to link to an accounts package, currently Sage 50 or 0. And the import file tab is what we covered within the wizard, which is all of the information of your file and how it's linked to Tradebox. And this is where you would put your FTP details in if you wished it to connect automatically. There's also the final tab here is the export file. We can create a very straightforward export file, which could have, for example, your SKU and your quantity in stock, and we can export that automatically up to an FTP so that it can be read by your website and it can adjust stock on your website. Okay, we're going to click on save and we click on close. To activate this channel, all I would simply need to do is to select the channel, click on activate, and the Tradebox service will start up and start interrogating the in folder. Okay, thanks very much for listening. Again, there are much more videos linked on our website, specifically for CSV within the videos and guides. But if you come to integrations, choose any of the marketplaces you're interested in, and each of them does have a videos and guides section. Thanks very much.